CIS 106. And the CIS 106 class covers a number of important things, but the most important thing that I always want to tell people is that you do not need to know anything in order to succeed in CIS 106. You need to know how to turn on your computer, and you need to know how to, use your computer. If you can access this, what we are doing right now, you have the requisite skills that are necessary to succeed in CIS 106. The second thing that's about it is the point of the class is to really think the way that computer scientists think, and to think the way that computers think. One of the issues about computers and computer science that tends to really confuse and frustrate people is that they don't really realize just how stupid computers are. Computers assume that everything is going to be laid out specifically, exactly in order. And unless you tell the computer exactly, specifically what you want it to do, you need to realize that it's going to get confused and not understand what it is that you're actually doing. So one of the things that I stress in my class is how to really think the way that computer scientists need to think, and how to act like a computer. The related thing is that this is, again, a beginning Python course. So I saw in the chat that some people have asked, I've already taken CIS 24C. I already know how to do Python. Do I need to take this class? The short answer is no, you don't need to take this class. The longer answer I would say is that it might actually help you to take this class. And the reason that I say that is this. CIS 24C, which is our introduction to Python programming class, covers how to program in Python. CIS 106 covers how to think computationally and how to act the way that, and how to program the way that computer scientists program. In both CIS 106 and in 24C, we teach you the basics of how to program in Python. But where 24C is focused specifically on the Python code and the Python syntax, my class is focused specifically on the thought processes that you need to utilize in order to write good code. And we use Python as our language. So in both classes, you're going to learn the basics of Python. You're going to learn essentially the same material. But the focus is in CIS 106 is more about how to think computationally. And by the way, I'll teach you how to write code in Python. Whereas in 24C, the focus is on how to write Python code. And by the way, we'll teach you a little bit about how to think computationally. So it's really where the focus is. And like I said, if you've never programmed before, or even if you have, but it's been a while, or you took it, but you took 24C and you did well enough to pass the tests, but you didn't really understand it, this absolutely is the class that you want to take. The other thing that I wanted to mention about this is that in the way that I teach this class is that we listen to the lectures that MIT provides. And the lectures that MIT provides are great. Professor Eric is a wonderful teacher. He is an excellent programmer. If I change my screen for a second, this is what he looks like. He's a really great guy, and I love the way that he teaches the material. However, if you notice what I say over here in my comments about it, is that I stop his talk all the time. And the reason that I stop his talk all the time is that it's been my experience that most computer scientists were either math majors or computer scientists their whole lives, or have some sort of sciencey mathematical background. And that's great. And so what that means is that they tend to use what they are really good at, and they're really good at math. And so all of Professor Erics's examples are all mathematically based. And there's nothing wrong with that unless you don't really love math as much as, say, Professor Eric loves math, or quite frankly, as much as I love math. But so I stop him all the time. And the reason that I stop him all the time is that one of the things that I pride myself on is that I'm pretty good at explaining technical concepts to a non-techie audience. And the reason that I'm pretty good at explaining technical concepts to a non-techie audience is that my undergraduate degree was actually in theater and communication. And so, and my master's degree is in education, so clearly I teach computer science. What it really is I am now and have always been a computer geek. And so I know a lot about this, but what I also know is I also know how to speak ordinary human speak. And so what I try to do is I try to take the technical concept and explain it in a way that non-techies can answer and understand. And the reason, one of the main reasons that that the Technest program exists is, again, to get people who otherwise might not have gone into tech to get into tech. And so what, again, when I say no programming experience is required, I really mean that. And in fact, it's been my experience that lots of times the way that you learned how to do it may not have been the best way to do it. And so, quite frankly, having no programming experience might actually be the best choice. So I accidentally put in the fall schedule. I meant to put in the springs, I mean, on the fall schedule on here, we had that we were going to be meeting in Milpitas and on campus. Of course, because of the pandemic, we're not going to be meeting physically in Milpitas or physically on the main campus, but we will still have two different sections of CIS 106. And so the two times, the two sections, one section will be held on Wednesdays from 6 till 9 and Saturdays from 10 till 1. Although really in both sections of the class, it will be totally online. So even though there will be a Milpitas section and a main campus section, those are not physically going to be in Milpitas or physically on the main campus. They're just going to, that's going to be just how we will separate the two. But one of the things I am doing right now is updating all of the recorded lectures. And the way that our class will be done is that I will be sending all of the students access to all of the recorded lectures, and then we will watch them either together or separately, and then we'll meet virtually and talk about the stuff that I had assigned. So that was what I wanted to talk about CIS 106.